So you had roles as a machine learning engineer, as a manager, and also a data scientist in your career. For folks that might not be aware of the differences, can you tell us a little bit about how they're similar, how they're different from each other in your profession?
Totally. So, what I've found is that the title can sometimes be a misleading term because companies will utilize titles for grouping people into different categories, different compensation bands, different organizations. Sometimes it doesn't always accurately represent the structure of the work itself. But in my experience, there's a few different kinds of jobs which we can group together. A data scientist, in the most traditional sense, is a little bit more focused on analytics, metrics, and sometimes some intersection with machine learning systems. But any time that there are core metrics for product performance, analyzing A/B tests, sometimes allocating budgets, these are things that data scientists, generally wielding a combination of Python notebooks and SQL, will go after and tend to. The term data scientist often refers to someone who spends a little bit less time working directly with production code, although sometimes that's very different from company to company. When I had the data scientist job title, I was at an organization that did have me intersecting with production code. But at both Twitter and in my current company at Normal Security, data scientists tend to interface much more with metrics code only as opposed to code that would run as part of the customer experience. And then the distinction between a machine learning engineer and software engineer really is also a very fuzzy distinction. Sometimes companies will utilize the term machine learning engineer to refer to anyone who touches machine learning at all. At other times, the distinction would be a machine learning engineer is someone who explicitly trains and deploys models, whereas people who are, for instance, working on systems that feed features to machine learning models would be characterized as software engineers. This naming is a little bit inconsistent in my experience at both at Twitter and Abnormal Security. But really, you could think about the difference as being whether you are, as your day-to-day job, working on iterating on improving a particular model that's going to go into production, impact the customer, impact core metrics, or if you're thinking about the data systems that need to be in place to feed those models, or the infrastructure that needs to serve those models and have them be running in a production environment. In these latter two cases, some of the challenges tend to be more traditional distributed system software challenges. Metrics like cost and latency tend to be things that you think about more, whereas in this former case, there's a great deal of non-production code writing and performance metric iteration that you would think about. But these lines can be very blurry. In some organizations, there's one person who does all of these things, and other ones, these people can be very far apart.
If you enjoyed this clip, make sure you watch the entire video, which has a lot more content just like this. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our episodes where we talk to leaders in the tech industry, from software engineers to product managers to engineering manager, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and also click the notification bell.